What is up, Bladers, and welcome back to another video. Yes, you are reading your screen correctly. Um, so, this is something that was given to me as a early birthday present. So I want to thank both Nickflix and Lance Kataki for giving me these. These are the official Beyblade Journey Season 2 scripts. Now, I will have to double check with them before this video goes live, but Beyblade Journey Season 2 was started in production. However, due to personal life and everything, Beyblade Journey Season 2 is cancelled. So there will be no reaction videos for it. However, what we will be doing, because they gave me these scripts in order for me to read them so I can give you guys the final ending of Beyblade Journeys along with letting me see what happens to the story. We are going to be going through all of the episode scripts, reading them, and I'll be giving my reactions as we read them. I have it zoomed in 200%, which is the recommendation that Lance had given to me in order to read these, so I don't spoil myself of anything interesting or something. I'm not going to spoil how many episodes there are. We are just going to do one per video, like if we were doing a reaction, but yes. But before we get on with the video, I would like to take a moment to thank our sponsor, BasinBricks.com, where you can go and pre-order the brand new CX-17 of the Unicorn Bay. I can't remember its name right now. As well as still get pre-orders on the BX-49 Drone Strike set and the UX-19 Bullet Griffin set. You can still grab yourself the Storm Spriggan X Over Bay, as well as still pre-order CX-16. The rest of the CX expansion is already out, but you can still grab them, and if you use code BAYMASTER16, you will get yourself 7% off at checkout. Once again, that is BasinBricks.com. So, this is Beyblade Journeys Season 2, Episode 1. I can't remember the name of the episode off the top of my head right now, but it will be in the title of the video. So, exterior, Team B4 Hangout Spot. Approximately 1 month has passed since the events of the Dark Resonance Project. In this moment in time, Nickflix, Barry, Larry, and Gary are all hanging out at the B4 Hangout Spot and are practicing Beyblade with another. Diving closer into the scene, we see that Nick and Barry are facing each other. A battle between Phoenix and Rhino has already ensued. Nick: wow, Barry, I've got to give it to you. Your Rhino sure packs a punch. Barry: thanks, Nick. I could say the same about your Phoenix. You two make one heck of a team, but regardless, me and Rhino are gonna take you down today. Charge, Rhino! Rhino begins to pick up the attack. After some time, Phoenix sets Rhino off balance. Nick: VO. An opening. Nick: now, Phoenix! Phoenix quickly dashes into Rhino, delivering a strong blow, which knocks Rhino out of the stadium. Nick wins the battle. Barry walks over and picks up Rhino from the ground. He stares at it in his hand. Barry: aw, man, Rhino and I were so close to winning. Barry shakes his head. Barry: I think next time we will finally beat you. Nick: you might just do so. These past couple of battles have been super close. Barry looks in disbelief. Alright, get on to page 2 here. Barry: I guess you're right, but Rhino and I have never been able to beat you two. It just sucks to lose all the time. Okay, so I already have a prediction, and if I'm right, please let me know. Is Barry and Rhino gonna get a CX evolution? Because if so, that would be sick, dude. Oh. And I do feel bad for Barry losing all the time. Honestly, it does suck. Taken from somebody who loses almost every tournament I go to. But the good thing about losing is that you get to learn from those mistakes. So you can always make yourself better than where you were last time. Nick, that's fair, Barry. No blader ever wants to lose. So when it evidently happens, it's not particularly pleasant, but never forget, there's value in it. Barry, value in losing. See, this is what I was just saying. This is what I was just saying. There's value in losing, because you can learn from the mistakes. Nick, There's always something to gain from loss. Knowledge, technique, growth. Every setback you face is just another step you have to take towards getting stronger. And Nick honestly knows that too well, I'd say. I mean, given that he is a previous world championship winner, and the fact that he lost his Phoenix and got it back in the end, he knows loss just as well as Barry does, I'd say. Nick stares at Phoenix. Just remember, losing doesn't define who you are, but giving up does. Now that's a good quote right there, honestly. Barry is inspired. Barry, you're right, Nick. I'll learn from this defeat today, and me and Rhino will return the favor to you in the next one. Nick smiles. Nick, that's the spirit, Barry. Ooh, new character. Okay. Nick flicks! Suddenly, voice shouts from the distance. All members of Team B4 turn to see who is calling as their attention focuses. They see Lance Kataki leaning against a tree. Good old Mr. Seto Kaiba himself. Pathetic. Nick. Lance. Lance. Nick, I've come to challenge you and defeat you. Nick stares at Lance. A flashback begins displaying moments from their fight against Loki. Nick. It has been a little over a month since Lance and I had our fight against Loki. New flashback scenes play. Since then, we've become best friends. Together, we've been training nonstop, attending multiple tournaments, and battling each other every single day. Despite the amount of time we spend together, he still likes to claim we're rivals. Although, I suppose I don't mind this since it means I constantly have someone to keep pushing me further as a blader. Flashback ends. Lance. So, Nick, are you ready to take me a night on? Lance gets a new bay! Oh! Oh, let's go! Lance pulls out his bay, Titanium Knight, an S tier bay with A- tier attack, S defense, and A stamina. Nick, of course, me and Phoenix will never back down from a good fight. Now, since we don't have combos that I can guess, sadly, I am going to predict that Lance evolved his knight, and this is now using the Night Mail blade. Let me know if I'm right. Nick pulls out his bay, Sunrise Phoenix, an S tier bay with S tier attack, A- tier defense, and A+ stamina. Such an awesome bay. So overpowered. I can't wait to see how this goes, this battle, honestly. Lance, then let's do this. The two step up to the podium and begin to load up their launchers. Together they yell, 3, 2, 1, let it rip! The battle begins. Phoenix and Knight begin to attack each other, and the battle goes on for some time. Lance, so Nick, our current record against one another currently sits at 99 to 99. I understand we would call it when one of us gets to 100 wins, which means this one is for all the marbles. Nick, I didn't think we were actually still counting. But if that's the case, it means I need to go all out. Go, Phoenix! Phoenix begins to pick up the attack. After some time, the two bays begin to clash in the center of the arena. Lance, go Knight! Nick, go Phoenix! This is honestly such a good episode. I'm picturing the battle in my mind, which hopefully you guys will be able to as well. But the battle, the clashing between Phoenix and Knight together is such an awesome thing. The clash continues. Knight begins to push back Phoenix. Nick, now Phoenix! Phoenix begins to ignite, then after a few seconds, it performs a swift motion that detaches it from the clash and loops around to hit Knight from the other side, which knocks it out. Nick wins the fight. Nick. So I guess that means I take it. Barry walks over. Wow, guys. That was an amazing match to watch. Lance, I'm going to ask you once again, but how would you like to join Team B4? You're a skilled blader, and you would make a perfect fit for the team. Lance raises an eyebrow. Barry, how many times do I have to explain this to you? I've never been on a Beyblade team before. They are simply just not for me. Still getting a lot of Seto Kaiba vibes from that, honestly. Such a good character. Plus, Nick may be my friend now, but first and foremost, he's still my rival. So it wouldn't make much sense for me to be on the same team as him, would it? Barry. Yeah, I suppose you're right. Barry drops to his knees and claps his hands together. Please, 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 join our team! Nick is shocked and Lance gets angry. Lance. Hey, knock it off! You're the leader of the dang team. You shouldn't be on your knees begging for anything. Nick begins to laugh. Suddenly, Lance points to Nick. Look, Nick. Once the Beyblade World Championship is over, we're running our streak back. So don't you get too comfortable just yet. Nick remembers something. Oh yeah, speaking of which, Nick pulls out a flyer from his pocket. The Beyblade World Championship starts in just 2 days. Barry stands up. Wow, that really came up quick for you guys. Nick. Yeah, no kidding. In fact, the registration event for it is tomorrow. Lance. Is that so? Nick. Yeah, the doors open up at noon, so we've got to make sure we're over there around then. I apologize for my dogs. Barry. The earlier the better, since you'll want to avoid the crowds. Plus, correct me if I'm wrong, but the World Championships typically have an informational presentation on the day of registration. Lance. A presentation? Nick. That's right. In fact, that's the next thing I wanted to bring up. I heard a rumor that this year's format is going to be a little different. Barry. They're changing the structure of the World Championship? Nick. Yeah, supposedly they're changing it to something called the 3 stages. Lance. The 3 stages? I've never heard of that before. Barry. Me neither. I wonder what that entails. Nick. Same here. But, if I'm being honest, I'm way more curious on how many bladers will be there in attendance. Lance. Right, I mean only ranked fighters are eligible to participate, so on paper there should be up to 10,000 bladers. However, last year's World Championship only had about 5,000, and that was a new record. Barry. Well, look, it doesn't matter if it's 5,000 or 100,000 competitors. I know that the two of you are making it to the top. You've both been training non-stop for this past month, and now, as a result, Phoenix and Knight are now the strongest they've ever been. So I expect both of you to get out there and go kick some butt. Nick and Lance smile. Nick. Right! To the 11th Beyblade World Championship Tournament. We go. And that's the end of episode 1. Wow. Such an amazing beginning episode for season 2. I can't wait to find out who's going to be at the World Championship for the tournament, as well as just in general, like the tournament itself. Like, I wonder what they mean by the 3 stages. I'm thinking what it will probably be is like top 3 or maybe 3 blader teams. So like Nick and Lance will obviously be a team, probably. I don't know who the 3rd blader for their team could be. I have some theories. Barry, obviously. I feel like Barry... This could be a very good Barry story, honestly. Like, Barry enters the tournament and evolves his Rhino in the tournament, which then helps him, Nick, and Lance win. That's a good theory right there. Um, Another theory I have, I don't want to say anything just yet on it in case it is correct, and I don't want to spoil anything. So we'll leave that one off, but I will make reference to it back here. Another theory is that maybe they'll get Skylar back in since he wasn't really there for season 1. I could see him returning and either being the team's third member or being an opponent for the team. The 3 stages is an interesting concept though, especially for a format type. I'm very excited to see what you guys have came up with for this season. So, thank you all so much for watching the reaction slash script reading of Beyblade Journey Season 2, Episode 1. I am sorry I didn't write down the name before I had opened up the script, but I will try to do better for Episode 2. And I also don't remember if I mentioned it, but this was an early birthday present, as the day this probably goes up will actually be on my birthday. So, Nick, Lance, I want to thank you both again for this amazing birthday present, and thank you again so much for letting me bring to light the Season 2 of Beyblade Journeys. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, be safe and Beyway. Peace out, everybody.